You're listening to the Grit to Growth podcast. Real talk with real business owners and professionals who built their freedom the hard way and now want more time, money, and impact.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Levi, and joining me today from Sioux Falls, South Dakota is Dr. Adam Finzen, correct?
Correct, yes.
And Adam is a former physician who's recently more transitioned over to the industry side of things. So, Adam, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Super excited to be here.
Yeah. So, give me a quick snapshot of what you're doing nowadays.
Absolutely. So I work for a company called WRS Health, which is a nationwide electronic medical records company that services over 21 different specialties in the healthcare world. And so we focus on small, medium, and large size private practices and provide them kind of with a total practice solution. So everything from their medical records, we offer additional services and things like that. And I lead their business development team. So I'm kind of on the front lines with our with my team to interact with clients and kind of demonstrate what we have to offer, what makes us different, and show them nowadays the key phrases and words these days are AI. So I talk a lot about AI these days,
Yep.
but underneath that AI hood is a lot of cool technologies, a lot of things that we can really help practices hopefully shorten some of their day and not have to go home and do charting and do all sorts of other fun stuff that sometimes are a clinician's life at the end of the day.
Getting them to expand their time and money, right? And impact.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
perfect. So is a lot of your clients then pretty much your former self, what you were doing before you made this transition?
Yes and no. So there are plenty of clinicians that reach out to us, but there are a ton more that are business owners or people who are buying practices or different things like that who maybe have never treated a patient clinically, but are looking
Yep.
for ways to improve the business aspect of it. So it's an
Okay.
interesting dynamic, and so sometimes the conversation can be less clinician to clinician, what we used to call hallway consults, and it's more along the lines of the business technicalities. And so there's a bit of a learning curve when I jumped into the business development world, and it's fun to switch between the two types of conversations for sure.
Well, you walk me through kind of what made you make that change from one side of the table to the other then.
Yeah, it's a great question. I get asked that a lot, and curiously enough, I get asked that a lot by clinicians because they
Yep.
they're always wondering like, hey, is this something that I can do? And in today's
Hmm.
world, it's not so uncommon. But during the pandemic, when things are kind of shut down, I went from seeing 30, 35 patients a day down to five, less than sometimes, and I sat there and had the ability to really reevaluate where I was trying to go with my life, and I had a young kid at home and one more on the way, and we were sitting there thinking, I miss so much of what they were doing, and is this really what life was about, and is this really what I wanted to do for the next 30 plus years? And so at the end of the day, the decision kind of was my own to make, and we made it wholeheartedly and jumped into a few different things. And on the industry side, I wasn't quite 100% sure where I wanted to go. So I've done things like medical communications, and I did a lot of consulting work. And so there were quite a few different avenues I tried to go down. And my initial and maybe my strongest attribute was really to be able to connect with patients. And when I jumped into business development, that was one thing that really just clicked naturally. And so for the past few years, that's where I've been really focused on, and it's been a natural fit for me, and that's really what drove me to where I am now.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Adam, I was doing a little bit of creeping and homework on you, and I looked at your LinkedIn, and I saw on there you have a in your bio that you're a Godzilla enthusiast. Tell me a little bit about that there.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, my uncle actually got me into Godzilla. It was like one of the first monster movies that I ever watched as a
Mhm.
kid, and I just fell in love with it immediately, and it was always kind of just a thing that I enjoyed growing up, and so as I got older, it kind of became this just kind of conversation point, I guess, and so to the point where a few years back I actually got a Godzilla tattoo, if you can believe
Oh,
it.
wow.
And so yeah, and so but it's something that just kind of marks my uniqueness, my personality a bit, and just kind of helps me to remember to be who I am. all the
I
time. And so
love it.
it's just a constant reminder that where you come from is always important to remember.
Awesome. Are you more do you like the original stuff, or have you been into the newer Godzilla movies?
It's funny because my kids, I showed them the older Godzilla stuff, the stuff that I watched when I was a kid, the stuff that I
Yep, it's
loved.
it's like stop motion, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
stop motion, men in suits kind of thing, and it's good. It's campy fun. And then the newer stuff comes out, and it's a little more serious, kind of a darker tone. And so they've seen all the newer Godzilla movies. I don't think they enjoy them as much as the old ones. I enjoy the new ones quite a bit, just because it's like reliving my childhood a bit. But yeah, it's the next generation. I've been trying to steadily get them into things that I like, whether that's selfish or not. That is what it is.
Yep, I fully understand. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and right away, that was kind of when the Mario movie came out, and so right, and I swear, we've watched the Mario movie countless times now. So I fully understand what you're getting at there.
Good, good. Yeah.
All right, switching a little bit back more to so what you're doing now. What are you kind of finding as a challenge in that world?
It's interesting because everybody talks about how healthcare is such a hot button topic, and there's so much on the brink of kind of change and collapse. And ever since I got into healthcare from the beginning, I had a surgeon tell me one time that if you're not moving forward, you're getting left behind. And so I think that's true with most businesses, and I think it's kind
I
of unique. I think
agreed.
it's unique to the mindset of healthcare, just from the standpoint of clinicians don't always see themselves as businessmen. And when they're running a business, they have to kind of dive into that world a bit. And the best of the best do it with such a fervor that if you don't understand the benefits that a software like ours can give you, then you're spinning your wheels. And so part of the challenges I have is to balance cost effectiveness with value demonstration. And I think
Yep.
our CEO is always kind of trying to get us to audit and change how we're portraying these messages. And I think it's always a challenge because as a clinician, you're like, I see the value X, Y, and Z here. I want to just tell that to the clinician to have them pick it up. And I think a lot of business people can, and salespeople in particular, can kind of resonate with that. That's like, you see the value, you can talk to the value, but can they
Yep.
receive the value? And so it's sometimes a little bit harder to crack that clinician shell a bit. But once you do, you're kind of off to the races. And so I feel like I've been very successful in this just because I can, like I said, I can speak both ways about it. But at the same time, it's very effective for us to not only demonstrate the value, but have a clinician really speak to it. And it helps to kind of disarm them a bit. But it's always a challenge. When you start talking dollars and cents, it's not easy.
Yeah, something I struggle at when I'm making presentations like that and stuff is, yeah, coming from the shoes of the person you're talking to, right? Something might make perfect sense in your mind. You see the value in everything, but they could be coming from a completely different world. So getting on that level and being able to really communicate with someone is definitely a challenge. And it sounds like you've kind of overcame and been successful at that.
I would
It's
like to think
awesome.
so.
Well, what's kind of on the horizon here for you in the future then?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, and I always ask that about my clients and things like that, but nobody has really asked that about me. I think I really enjoy what I do, and I'd like to be kind of doing it for a long time. I bounced around so much doing different things. Not only when I was a clinician, I was in private practice, I worked in a hospital. It was only a handful of years that I was doing those different types of things. Moved a few different places, and when I jumped into industry, I was moving around, not necessarily location wise, but just between different sectors of the world. And so now that I've kind of got my teeth in, and I've been growing and building a few different things, not only with my current role, but previous expertise and things like that. Um, I think I'd just like to be somewhere, long term, and that's
Yeah.
really kind of what I'm trying to build with WRS is the longevity of it, and really kind of make it into, because it's already a big player in the space, but if we can make it a titan in the space, and I can put a feather in my cap there. That's really what I'm going for. So on the horizon for me, I think would be to continue refining what I'm doing until it's as ideal as possible, and growing the company as big as it can be.
Very good. Very good. Well, it sounds like things are going pretty well for you and the business. a lot of not only doctors but successful business people are always looking towards the future and how they can kind of create that more passive, not on hands-on type atmosphere to replace their current active income. What are your kind of thoughts about creative passive income and getting your time back?
Yeah, I think especially for clinicians, I feel like it because I was in those shoes for a while. It's hard to sit there and think that you can add something else to the mix, and it's that same mentality that I try to portray to the clients that I'm trying to sell to is that it's not that you're adding to it, it's that you're exchanging part of it. Is that if you can give yourself something passive to do, then maybe you don't need to overload yourself so much in clinic. We have such a strong fee for service set up for healthcare at the moment. So every person you see, those are the dollars and the time that you're really spending. And so if you can kind of supplement that a bit with something else that you're doing, whether it's passive or things like that, it's very advantageous as a clinician to avoid burnout,
Yep.
investigate hobbies that you're looking into, and so there are a lot of Facebook groups now I'm a part of that are physician non-clinical career hunters and things like that. There are tons of them out there, and they're always clinicians are like, I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm burnt out. I want to do something else. What do I do? And I think to myself, like, if you had worked maybe three-quarters as hard as you are now and you supplemented that as a passive income, maybe you'd be doing this forever,
Yeah.
so I think it's advantageous for people like me and clinicians in general, and really, I mean, just about everybody you can think of to try and do something like that for sure.
Yeah, so when back in your being a physician days, would you have to be on call, right? Ready to go. You never know when the and so yeah, like you said, if you can set up those parameters to set you up for success, that it just makes everyone's life way better. A lot easier to spend some time with family too that way. You mentioned,
Absolutely.
did you say how many children did you say you had?
I have two. I have a 6 and a 4-year-old. So
Very,
yeah, they're
yeah,
young and
in the thick of
rambunctious.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That yeah, I have my 3-year-old and then a 8-month-old. So still getting used to seeing how two fits on us and everything. It's a
Congratulations.
thank you very much. I couldn't ask for a more wonderful life. All right. Well, let's get to I like to do a section here towards the end. I'm going to give you a couple prompts. I don't want you to think too hard on them. They can be one word answers. You can elaborate on them, but I'll just kind of shoot some rapid fire questions at you if you're okay with that.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's start with I think I might know the answer to this one, but book or movie?
Ooh. Book.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
surprised me. All right.
Typically, yeah, book for sure.
Let's hear what's your favorite book?
Yeah, it's a good one. I was just actually reading it's funny because this is a show now, but the Shogun book that they
Okay.
turned into the
Yeah.
movie or to the Hulu short series. Yeah, that's probably up there for me. It's really good, really well written, very very dense, but very fun to
Yeah.
read.
Cool. What's your first job?
My first job was at Walmart in South Sioux City, Nebraska. I was there for about five
Oh.
years, if you can believe
What
it.
were you doing in Walmart?
Oh, I started off as a cashier and then I worked my way up to the electronics department and I was coming up on trying to decide, should I go into, obviously I wanted to go into medicine, but then I was sitting there thinking like, if you could stay at Walmart for a while and really
Yeah.
do well for yourself, it's a pretty good company if you stick it out for a while and and I thought to myself, that was kind of around not the advent, but the explosion of Amazon. I was like, oh, we're going to see the death of Walmart in my time. And looking back, I'm
No.
like, well, that was really silly of me to say.
I have a couple family members too who they for high school and college jobs and but they loved it and
Yeah,
me not working there I don't get it but from pretty much everyone I've talked to that has worked for Walmart says they loved it and the experience they got.
yeah, it's not bad. It was good. It helps you really develop those customer service skills that served me well later in life. So it's good.
Very cool. Well, what about the best decision you've ever made in your career?
Ooh, in my career, yeah, probably jumping into the industry side of healthcare was probably the best one of my career. I think. looking back, I'm glad I did what I did. I'm glad I went and got my medical degree. But from there, you get to the mountaintop of what you think is what you're striving for, and it's you kind of pull the curtain away from the emperor a bit, or the wizard, and you're sitting there thinking like it's not what you want it to be. It's not what you thought it would be, and then. When you go and you find the things that you're actually really good at and you can make into a passion and do something long term, I'm lucky enough to have found that where I did.
Good, good. What's one word people often use to describe you?
Ooh, great question. I would say probably gregarious would probably be a great question. I'm typically, fun loving and a little more outgoing, but I'm reserved at home, but for sure when I'm out and about, I try to be as as living up to what I can do to, be the life of the party, not life of the party, but along those lines.
Absolutely. Everyone likes that guy. All right. And then since you've got to experience both work from home or the office.
Ooh, yeah. There are some days that I miss working in an office, but it's few and far between. Working from home for me is amazing. I have my own room, my own office set up. I have little trinkets and things that my girls bring in and leave for me. So they'll say, "If you miss me, here's something you can leave with." And I think to myself, like, yeah, I'm glad you bring that in, and I will miss you. But I'm so glad to work from home, and I'm so glad that I can be around them more. It's definitely an amazing experience.
That's very fun. All right. So we're going to kind of wrap things down here. If people want to learn more about you and what you're doing and your business, where would you send them to?
Yeah, my LinkedIn page is probably the best, and it's literally just linkedin.com/in/Adam Adam dash Finzen, and you can also check us out. WRS Health is our company, but you may see different clouds is kind of how we brand it. So there's psychiatry cloud, dermatology cloud, ENT cloud. Basically, any specialty that's probably common to you is in there, and so you can find us on there as well. I have a pretty active presence on the website as well as on LinkedIn for that. So find us out there, check us out, see if we're a good fit for your small practice or medium-sized practice or large practice. We're here for it all.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today, Adam, and sharing your insights and knowledge. And for all those listening, thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.
Know someone with serious grit and a great growth story? Send them our way at grittogrowthpodcast.com/guest.